Didn't know when someone was going to come in from the side, and Potom walks away with the first blood. That is not good for an SF. SF needs his items. He needs to get himself farmed up as much as he possibly can. Lich is in trouble as well as ES up here on the top. Throws down the Fissure to lock off that wall. There is a small gap for him to jump on through. The Mania with that bouncing stun was enough to harass him back there, but ES just putting up that defensive Fissure, making sure Visage can't get close enough. Visage almost up to level 6-2, well, probably level 5.5. But the XP has been shared pretty nicely. Prophet, that's the Fury, and heading back up towards the top lane. Milk is all ready to actually fire off. Frost going off once again, just trying to do a little bit of damage here with Mania and Demon being caught right next to each other. They do actually cop that AoE Frost. Does slow their attack as well as movement speed up a little bit too. And now we see MYM dive past the tower. Fury actually pulling in a couple of Tridents as well. Just going to keep that pressure on the tower. And Demon is keeping the pressure on. Fissure goes off. Bounce stun goes off, but it's not going to bounce because there's nothing else there. But you still lock him in place. Munching on a Tango, but it's not enough. With the Maledict on top, it is enough to actually get the kill, but it's a Demon, the Visage, who actually walks away with the last hit. Lich now moving himself back into that lane, trying to hold on to this tier 1 tower as long as possible, as Potom for some reason is actually chasing I don't know what NS is doing there. NS should not be here, and a couple of hits from Missy. Now as she claims Missy's second blood, claiming the SF first, now the CM to follow it off. Fissure goes on the top lane, just trying to kill this creep wave off so they can actually push themselves out a little bit further here. But MYM controlling the map beautifully as DTS, a couple of raises popping up in the middle there. SF up to level 6-2, so he does have that ulti. The closer you are, the more souls you have, the more damage that is done. That is the way it actually rolls, so position is all about it. Sometimes go for the Lothars, like we don't even see the animation of the ultimate. Sometimes blink, but then you actually get to see the animation of the ultimate and you rely heavily on a BKB to try and keep yourself alive. But with the SF at the moment, I don't think he's going to have enough money to even afford that at the moment. And Missy just straight up there, harasses him back, doesn't even care about losing HP at the moment. There is only one charge left in the bottle. The support is coming down. It is a haste on the Fury and wait for him to actually pop it. Rage is still popping off. CM's going to come through, want to put out a Frost, but a very, very quick leap there from Missy does allow him to escape. And in fact, Fury now actually lets Missy take that haste rune and puts it in the bowl. That means you can use the haste rune, keep the harassment on, and then of course the bigger thing, 3 extra charges inside that bubble. So extra health, extra mana, and is going to look for the right time to actually initiate. More than likely going to go for the top lane. Yes, heading down the river. Oh, Fury, could he lock him in place? Yes, he does. The trees go through. Visage's Familiar's on top right now. They should fall from the skies. A little bit late on the fall though. ES was able to get himself out of the way just in time, because when those gargoyles do actually create themselves, obviously falling from the Familiars into the gargoyles on the ground, they do stun the area around them, and that's what he was hoping for on the back of VS. So try and stop him, hold him in place, for giving enough time for Missy to actually come in there. But Missy having a great time in the middle lane. Once again, Melk almost playing babysitter role for every single lane at the moment, and is doing it beautifully. So Visage able to free farm up there on the top. And you have even Witch Doctor, level 4 Witch Doctor going for the pull. In fact, actually has a double pull of Mud Golems as well as Status. They're having a great old time. And it looks like Mel did actually finally hit that middle lane. And we'll see a follow-up there kill with Missy getting the CM. So G and NS getting caught out in the middle lane. Fury continues the pressure on here. Missy just pushing himself out. I'd love to know who Missy is. In fact, if Missy is actually a player, top lane might even go for it. Demon does get fissured. The Revenants have come in. They're actually not even blocking it, but keeping the damage on. Rocket fires over the top, keeps the damage going. AA does actually go down here, while ES now has to retreat himself back out. Visage comes around the backside as Malik is finally actually, not Malik, we have Mania, who's finally got himself in there. Fissure goes off. The Maledict will be more than enough to actually kill him, and Mania does walk away with those kills. Familiars were actually hitting him, and they probably wanted the kill for Demon, so he actually got the extra gold. But Mania, it's also good to see the gold going on the support heroes. It gives money for wards, it gives money for well, a little bit of XP as well, but it gives a lot for those support heroes to keep supporting in the way they really, really need to. 0 for 7 on the board here. This is the Pick League. It has been a very, very long time since I've actually been here to commentate the Pick League. I do apologise to everyone over there in Europe who's been going, Toby, do the Pick League. Well, it hasn't been on for one, but it's back on now, and we will keep the broadcast streaming out there for everyone who does enjoy them. For everyone who doesn't enjoy them, well, yeah. That's how it goes. Anyway, 0 for 7, 8 minutes and 37 seconds into it. We see another rune being taken off here. MYM really controlling these runes everywhere. Not just by wards. We do have a ward down the bottom here. Who is that actually from? That's actually from Milk himself. Hence, there's no name showing up, as I'm actually currently seeing on replay vision with Milk. So Missy just waiting for the right time to get that arrow off in the middle. ES is there. SF is there. ES hasn't actually shown himself just yet, but now the Illusion's going to run themselves in. They're going to find ES on the sides. They just start a little bit of damage off here. Nevermore's going to use a raise to actually find the real one. No, he just doesn't do the stand damage. ES vision goes off. Nevermore try to get a little bit closer, but Missy does have enough speed to actually get herself out. Instead of that leap up his sleeve as well. Actually, maybe not. Didn't have enough mana for the leap at that time. Rather interesting to actually note. He didn't actually have an escape there. Oh no, the leap's on like 60. He'll be fine. Either that or I just got my mana cost wrong. It happens. Down to DOTA now. DOTA is one of these heroes which can still save this here for DTS. If DOTA still continues to get buffed up here, she can hold it, give Nevermore that time to actually farm up here. And sometimes one hero is all it takes. One hero to get strong enough to make the opposition just go, you know what, we really have to focus fire this one hero down. And DOTA is definitely one of those heroes, especially with that Brilliance Aura. Only up at level 2 at the moment, so CM mustn't be that high in level, especially with the kills. Oh, mid lane's gone off! The millions have come on from the side here. The Maldi is still going off. NS will take a fall. We've lost one. We've lost two. Demons claim both of them right now. Even Rocket flies over the top. The Mythy gets the last hit there. Does it the old-fashioned way with an arrow smack, plack, plumb between the eyes. And Dread actually goes down. This should be a mid-tower. 3 going down from that one. While that's actually happening, we did actually lose one of the Scourge players during that battle. It was, in fact, Visage, but the Tier 1 tower going down in the mid will give them a little bit more to actually smile about, as well as the 3 heroes they have actually planted on their wall. But 1 to 10. It does signify DTS getting their first kill of the game, but it does signify also MYM going into double digits for their kills. And once again, a rune being controlled off here. Fires off the bottle charges, will then have the regen rune, which will hold on for a while. As you're obviously seeing, he's got enough mana for Starfalls and a couple of other things right now. Bottom lane, forced to fall back here. DOTA doesn't want to get too close, knows they can rotate themselves down, and knows he has no support. SF's back up again, trying to collect as many souls as he possibly can. Get himself back on it. Bottle as well as treads at 10 minutes for SF. Not what you expect. You'd expect a little bit more off there. Frost goes off from CM. CM's going to get caught out. Mania with the stun. Maldic is off. And Furion even lets the call of nature fly right over the top. But Missy does get the last hit there on NS. So Furion in the right place, right time. And it can be anywhere too with that ulti. It's just so freaking strong. Another war going off here. It's a very aggressive war placement coming out from Melk. Wants to keep tabs on anyone moving inside those neutrals, as well as anyone who actually moves down this tree line as well. Moving around in this area, the ward up on the top of the hill does actually see this entire area and allows them to actually gank, especially with the Tier 1 tower down. Support won't come too fast. It's going to have to TP back towards the Tier 2 tower, and that is a long, long time to actually walk up. Doesn't seem like much, but it is much. DOTA here on the bottom lane, still has full mana and wants to keep it that way. Doesn't want to use the Mystic Snake, especially considering Familiars, a Clockwork Goblin is hanging around, and Visage is ready to do damage here. So DOTA got to play a very, very smart role here. Does have treads, does have one Wraith Band as well as the Ring of Basilius. That's just to help her own mana regen at the moment. In fact, doesn't actually have a set to heroes, I don't think. Yeah, it's just set to normal to keep the creep wave actually pushed out there. He wants to claim a tower by the looks of it. CM going to get caught out once again. Familiar's on top. Maldic on top. NS is dead before he realizes it. Level 4 CM. CM is squishy as it is, let alone having a level 4 CM. As we see DOTA still trying to defend this bottom tower. Lich is hanging around, but CM is down, so no aura for the moment. This is the time to actually attack here on DOTA with that none of that Santa regen. As Mystic Snake going to bounce off here on the back of Demon. It's only going to hit him the first time. The Mystic Snake gets this extra damage from the amount of times it actually bounces, so not the best way you want to actually do that one, but want to keep the harassment off, and especially with the mana regen he actually still has, wants to keep on top. Ultimate Orb actually managed to be farmed up here by DOTA, so a half-decent farm actually coming out here. Top lane looks like it's under a bit of pressure as the TP did actually come out. I think we saw a very, very quick escape there by Nevermore as we did see Furion just very, very quickly pull those Trinits out of the forest, but it wasn't in time. The TP was left behind, so they saw what happened. ES wants to have a crack. The Frost went off. One fissure would have been enough to actually kill Potom just then, but they're not going to actually do it. Potom will actually retreat himself back out and look for a 14-minute rune. As Missy actually has nothing, there's no rune in any, they've taken both of them and there's no charges left inside the bottle. In fact, actually using the magic wand charges to get a little bit of mana up there. Still has enough for a leap as well as an arrow, so maybe even a starfall on top of it. But very, very aggressive. Oh no, CM, NS, it's the dead spot, it's the black spot. If you had pirating terms and you're all hanging out for Pirates of the Caribbean 4, look at the arrow fly down. One starfall will be enough, and then a leap. Had more than enough mana for it, and ASF didn't even have time to pop off a razor or anything just then. And even then with a couple of races, instant one charges come back to Missy. And that is great picking. Used the vision of the high ground where they didn't actually have it. Saw CM, got the arrow. And it was a half decent arrow. Like that's a, that was probably a 2.5 second stun off the back of that range. And it was more than enough to bring down CM very fast. 1 to 13 is the unlucky number here for DTS. And of course, unlucky way of actually having this game turning out so far. DOTA still with that ultimate orb gives me a slight glimmer of hope for them. But of course, Furion is now down here to try and shut him down, even just stopping the creep pull right now. In fact, actually using his own trainers to actually pull that creep wave back so the damage can come towards that tier 1 tower. So we will actually see DOTA try and farm up these trainers as well. They are worth gold. So every single time there's someone, they are worth gold. And careful not to lose that very injured familiar too of Visage's, because if that does actually